Hello everybody. I'm going to be doing a sword review today, and if you don't have the time, you don't feel like watching it all together, please allow me to sum it up in a couple seconds. Oh no, it appears I have stepped in feces. Oh wait, this isn't feces, it is the Honshu Boshin Wakizashi sword. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not really a fair comparison. After all, literal crap doesn't cost $90. Anyway, let's get to this. As you can see, it's super tactical looking, which I don't mind at all. Please don't think I'm dissing it for that reason. In fact, I like that this isn't just lacquered hardwood, and I like that this is leather wrapping on it. That's really cool. And I like the design of this guard. What I don't like is the blade. I don't like this, and I don't like a lot of things about the sword in general. Now, allow me to give you a bit of background as to how I got this, and maybe that'll explain why I feel so strongly. This was a present from my best friend, and I was really shocked. He got me this for Christmas, and this is a $90 sword. He got Jardian engraved on it. I don't know if I can get that to get in. He literally had Jardian written onto the sword, which shocked me. That was so cool, and I was like, man, I'm going to use this on so many videos. And as I unsheathed it and I picked it up and I moved it around, I noticed a lot of things just wrong with it. And of course, I wasn't saying them out loud because I just got the gift. But that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about why this sword is, frankly, a scam. Honestly, Honshu is a knife company, and they have no business trying to claim that this is a decent sword, especially one worth $90. Let's get to it. Okay, let me actually start talking about the reasons I dislike this sword so much. And I'm sorry that this is going to be a bit rambly in a sense. I don't have anything written out. I'm just going as I remember, and I'm going to make sure that I list all the things I dislike. And right before I get to it, please let me say that don't worry about my friend. He knows how grateful I was for this. And in fact, after he saw how it performed, after I spent like 10 minutes sharpening it, he himself was all for returning this. But let's get to it. Okay, so I got out of the box, and immediately when I lifted it, I was like, wow, this thing's pretty heavy. This is a Wakizashi. It's like 34 inches about, or 30 to 34. And I was like, wow, this is pretty heavy for a Wakizashi. Not like so heavy it strains your arms, but this is a Wakizashi. It's a small sword, and it really shouldn't feel this way. I will talk specifics about why it feels that way later. Next thing that I immediately noticed, and again, I'm going to try to get this on camera, I don't know if I can, is the edge. I saw the edge and I felt it. You can see it is a secondary bevel, so it's more like a knife. If you know about swords, you know you usually don't want to see that on a sword because it makes it kind of annoying to sharpen. So it's like it grinds off and then it grinds again into this tiny edge along the whole thing. And I don't know if you can see it shining there, but it's pretty bad for sharpening. Luckily, I was just using a fresh AccuSharp, so it didn't matter how tiny the edge was, but still, you can see that's one of my main complaints, is if this had a decent edge for sharpening, I might not hate it so much. Out of the box, this is described on the website as extremely sharp, and you have those little kiddos in the review section saying this feels like a lightsaber and it's scary sharp. No, this could not cut paper out of the box, and I wasn't even using really thin paper. I was using very solid paper, easy to cut through, and this couldn't slice it at all. It could barely slice with a section here. I spent a long time AccuSharpening this. I didn't want to whetstone it because I might scratch it, and I do want to return this immediately after making this video. But after AccuSharpening it for a long time, I managed to make it slice through paper with most of it, and then I went out and tested some cuts with my friend, and yeah, it performs terribly. I'm going to have some cuts with this just to show you what I mean, and I think you'll realize that I'm not trying to what I meant to say there is that I hope you realize when you're seeing this that it's not my skill you should be questioning here. I'm not doing any advanced cuts, and if you have any question as to whether I qualify as average or slightly above average at cutting, just watch my other videos. I'm clearly decent at what I'm doing, and this thing is not decent. So before I forget, allow me to get a close angle here and show you why I think the weight is so poor on this. And there are a couple things. One, this guard right here, while I don't mind the design, in fact, I really like unique looking swords. I'm glad I didn't just get like a generic Wakizashi. I think that they could reduce the thickness a little, or make it come out a little less, maybe a bit more on this side. And other than that, that's not a big deal. A worse thing is this ugly pommel. I'm just going to call it a butt cap, because I don't want to call that a pommel. I believe that is solid metal. Somebody in a review section said that this is just epoxied on, and I completely believe that. They also said it had a weak tang, by the way, which I completely believe. And other than that, the handle's fine. This isn't terribly comfortable, but it's not uncomfortable either. And like I said, I enjoy unique things. But the main thing is, hope I can get you to see this, I think the sword is just a little too thick on the spine. I don't mind thick spines. I like sturdy swords more than anything, but I think they went a little overboard. It doesn't really taper at all until the very end. It's just very thick altogether. And to mitigate this, they did add a little fuller down pretty much the whole thing. It's not very appealing. It goes all the way into the handle, because, you know, normally you'd have a habaki, which I believe is the right term, and that is the, okay, I'm sorry, I got helicoptered for a second. What I was trying to say is that, it doesn't have the habaki, which is that, like, brass or anything that goes around this section. And the tang just kind of goes through the whole thing. This, I don't think I can get a good camera of right now. There is a lot of space between the blade and the guard on all sides of it. I'm just going to kind of give you a look around. Every bit of it has space. And it doesn't wiggle around yet, but again, apparently this thing is like filled with epoxy and has a weak tang. Another thing I want to show real quick, this isn't terribly important for a short sword, but again, with the thickness, what I'm trying to say is there's like no flex in this thing. It is really mean. It just vibrates a little. It really doesn't have any give in it. And a point I want to make here with this video, before I go on for too long, is that this is really just an oversized knife. That's really all it is. I'm going to show you a knife over there in a second, and it's pretty much the same thing. It has the same crappy, uneven section here before the blade where the habaki usually is. It has the same secondary bevel. It has the same handle type and everything. And the difference is the knife is a good knife and it's less than $10. And this is a $90 sword that they advertise as incredibly sharp. It's 1060 steel. So this is pretty much made to snag people who think they know about swords, as opposed to the really cheap things that are just trying to get people who want wall hangers. So this is what I was talking about. This knife and this $90 sword are like brothers. They have like the really similar guards, except this one's symmetrical. They have similar handle materials, if not the same. They have like the same shiny butt caps. And they both have an uneven grind. Again, I'm not sure what to call that area. I know on a sword you'd call that blunt section or ricasso, but on this I'm just going to call it where the habaki goes. And they both have that secondary bevel. And like I said, the difference is this is a good knife, and I got 2 of them for $10, and this is advertised as having a $162 value that they give you on sale for $90. That's just absolutely unforgivable. That wasn't terrible, but with an easy target like this kind of tear really isn't acceptable. Again, that simply tore it off. It did not slice through it, or it barely did anyway. That wasn't terrible. Again, some of these look good, but none of them are actually just cleanly slicing through. And these are not difficult cuts I'm doing. So, as you can see through these, most of them were not terrible. Again, I sharpened this for an extremely long time, but almost every single one, it was simply my speed and body movement, and the blade was kind of just like tearing through the bottles. I got very few clean cuts. I mean, overall, what do you expect? I did sharpen this for a long time, but still, you can say for $90, this definitely isn't worth it. I can get a $40 Musha sword that will cut better than this out of the box and has a better edge and feels better in the hand.